I think.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think she. Yay. Hi, everyone. I'm Georgia from MakersPlace. We're a digital art marketplace, and you can come say hello to us over at Booth X and our AA Murakami installation. I'm here today with a panel of women and Web3, and we're going to talk about an amazing exhibition that we collaborated on in Paris.
Hello, I'm Edalou Paris. I am a Chief Fashion Officer of ISO Fashion, and we have met before, Georgia and I, and we're speaking about what are we going to do about NFT Paris, and like, what do you mean? So we've decided to come up with a project together that could also elevate some of the artists that we work with in the space from our communities, from the marketplace, and that's how the whole event came about. And I am based in Paris, so we decided the better place to do it is at the NFT Factory, which is a gallery that has all the screens so the art could be properly displayed. And we just started from there, just thinking about how we could do it so we could involve more and more of our community, because we understand how difficult it is for independent and emerging artists to be exposed, to get out there. So we wanted to also give that value to our communities and help other artists in digital art and digital fashion, women and non-binary, to be in the space.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cynthia. I'm with World of Women. I run our foundation that looks at education and charitable giving. I am here with MakersPlace, Eyes of Fashion, Fabricant. We've had some amazing events. Has it only been 2 days? Or something like this. Yeah, but out of curiosity, were any of you guys at the breakfast that we hosted at the NFT Factory? Okay, yay! There we go. Okay, back there too. Awesome. Yay! Great. Yeah. So in addition to that, we have other events happening, throughout NFT Paris. But we're really, really excited about this partnership. I think it's all about how do we empower and educate women in the space. So our exhibit, featured amazing, incredible women artists, non-binary artists, and that's sort of what we've always been about, even at World of Women. Since the start, we supported artists, acquired pieces of art. I also heard about World of Women through a piece of art that we acquired from a Latin American artist. And so since the beginning, we're always, about how do we champion diversity, inclusion. We'll talk a little bit more about that, and I think at some point we'll also give you guys a chance to ask questions. But thank you so much for coming, and I'll pass it on.
Hi, everyone. My name is Talia Zoref. I'm an NFT artist and fashion illustrator for the last 10 years, and also the founder of Eyes of Fashion NFT. And I'm so excited that we got to collaborate with all these amazing Web3 women-led companies in Paris, in NFT Factory, and really have an amazing, uplifting event for women and non-binary artists from all over the world that have a chance now to display their art through really projects like, World of Women or the Fabricant or Eyes of Fashion or MakersPlace that, they can't come to Paris, but it's so easy to display their art, no matter where they're from. It just gives such an amazing, accessible door. And yeah, so happy to be here.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amber J. Slooten. I'm co-founder and creative director of The Fabricant. We are a digital-only fashion house, so we create clothing that is always digital and never, ever physical. And we love to collaborate. And I think that's why this event really got together, because we love to put our hands together and make something work and really create something better with the sum of the parts, and to really elevate each other in the space. And I think a lot of what we do, the fashion industry is quite feminine, but I think there's still not enough femininity in the Web3 space. So I think we want to bring that, and we want to show, how we do it our own way, and we do it in a way that we believe in. And I think that is the key to making this into a success. And doing it the way that we like.
So I actually entered into this space mostly focused on collecting female-led projects and female creators. So I was immediately buying into World of Women, Crypto Chicks, Women Rise, and I got really excited, and that's how I onboarded myself and was also able to provide value to creators that I worked with. So this was a very unique and special opportunity where I got to work with MakersPlace and partner with these amazing women-led projects.
in order to amplify an accelerator program that MakersPlace launched on their platform. So we put out a call to our community asking artists that represent as women and non-binary to submit works of art to be part of an online exhibition which would feature female and non-binary creators. And from 50 artists selected to be part of that online exhibition, we curated 13 of those artists to be featured in an in-person exhibition at the NFT Factory in Paris. So it was an incredible opportunity to onboard, elevate, and then also promote artists through this program, and then amplify the message with the help of these amazing partners.
So I got into Web3. I'm a fashion designer here in Paris, and I wanted to be closer to women-led communities. And through another community that is based where I'm from, Puerto Rico, San Juan, I founded that there's this thing called NFTs and the blockchain. And my previous background was in finance, so I was like, this is perfect. It's just merging finance and creativity. And I just stopped production and went into the rabbit hole of learning and learning everything that I could about all this. And I said, where can I find more community of, like-minded women that want to, be creative, be in the space, be part of the creator economy, and be able to monetize it from that. And that's how, little by little, I've been founding, World of Women, Eyes of Fashion, the Fabricant, and now it's just we keep, it's the community and the fashion projects and the women-led projects. They just keep growing and growing, and now I'm actually able to work for Eyes of Fashion, and it has been just amazing to just listen to all these stories and be able to help them, get their art there. And more than 50 artists were exposed at the factory on Saturday at the exhibition, and I think that's just fabulous because you all know how the gallery system works for traditional art. It would have been mostly very, very impossible for some of these artists to be exposed in an exhibition in Paris, and this is something that they can put in their CVs, and they can, use that to further, keep working on their careers.
And if I could just add, and something interesting happened when we all started to collaborate and talk about what we wanted to do in Paris. We were very excited to do a Women in Web3 event, but we wanted to take it a step further because we believe that Paris is a place where we can experiment and push boundaries. And so we felt that also including non-binary in the exposition title would also help to amplify that and contribute to progress the space.
Yeah, and I'm curious because, MakersPlace has an accelerator program that you mentioned. What is the process like? What was the process like for that? Are applications now closed? And if they're an artist, can they get involved?
Yes, so applications are now closed because we already had the exhibition, and the online exhibition is currently live. But we are having regular accelerator programs. We're always looking for new creators on board and also elevate. And our creator ecosystem was also welcome to apply. So this wasn't just for new creators. This was also for existing creators to give them another opportunity to rise.
Awesome. And you have a question over here. We're all yeah, and I will talk a little bit about some of our programs that we have open as well. I touched a little bit about how I got into Web3, and then I'll kind of maybe have you guys also talk a little bit about that. I always find it interesting, just like how in the world, 2 years ago,
I love hearing
what happened. So at World of Women, we have a program called Let's Mint that aims to get more women and girls into Web3. That's through teaching, the basics of blockchain, teaching about crypto, teaching about, markets, but also how to get into the metaverse. What does that mean? And how does that future-proof women, in technology? I think, Ida mentioned traditionally a lot of these careers, but also these industries like finance, like tech, for the most part have been a little bit gated, and especially for women in the past 10 to 15 years. And we want to make sure, and I want to make sure that you guys also don't forget that as we build this space and as we progress and as we make programs and everything else, that we're not forgetting about the women, we're not forgetting about, minorities in this space, and how do we create programs that also enable them to get in early, so that they are the next creators, that they are the next, tech founders, and able to take up that space. We have our Let's Mint program. If you guys are interested, you can invite yourselves, invite family, invite friends, invite women in this room that you think would be really cool to have at this conference next year. We have 2 sessions coming up on March 4th and March 11th. Anyone is welcome to sign up. We set you up with a wallet. We walk you through your first NFT. We also walk you through the process of what the metaverse looks like, what are opportunities in the space, and beyond that. But before I do go into a little bit more, I'll have you guys talk about your journey into Web3.
Yeah, sure. And that's so cool.
My
That
voice is going out, man.
Oh, same, same. You can hear it. So yeah, so I'll also share a bit of my story. So as I said, I'm a fashion illustrator for the last 10 years. I got the privilege to work with brands like Chanel and Fendi and Dior and be on Vogue and stuff. But I was very Web 2. I wasn't Web 3 at all. And then I heard about Web 3, and I'm just always a curious person, and I love embracing new things in the space. So I was really searching it, and then started Eyes of Fashion, and what really got me excited of Web3 actually was that you can actually create a community around your art. Now I know that of course it's a different community than Instagram because people are so involved, and here Eda and Georgia and we met just because you were collectors of Eyes of Fashion
Hey,
when I
internet
launched
friends.
it. Yeah, so crazy, right? And look at us now here together, friends. So I think that it's a huge space with so much opportunity to meet amazing people and get really into industries that I didn't even know I could be a part of, like technology and stuff like that. And then basically, what excited me is that you can also work with Web3 to support different missions, like definitely World of Women is doing so well, and also MakersPlace and the Fabricant, and really on board other creators and empower them and help them. And we launched Eyes of Fashion last year, and it was sold out in 2 minutes. And I was like, oh my God, 8,808 pieces, sold out so fast. And since then, really, we decided to specialize in digital fashion. And that's why the collaboration we have with Eda is so powerful and so good that we launched AR earrings with you that you designed. And you started as a holder, and now, you work with us. And also, we are going to onboard other fashion designers that are super successful in Web 2, and we're actually going to launch something really special with Karen Wolf, that she's here in the audience somewhere. She's an amazing jewelry designer that collaborated with Beyonce, it's not Beyonce, sorry, Madonna. I'm already like, yeah. But Madonna and Beyonce, sorry, they're like both amazing. Uh, and Lady Gaga, and she did like amazing things. And really, I don't know, I don't see her, but she was here a second ago. So basically, I'm really excited about that because what we want to do is really on board women successful designers in Web 2 in an authentic way, not in the scary way that it's presented, that can be, I think for me, I really jumped in the water and went in my intuition, but I got so many offers for things that weren't genuine. And what we want to do is build this authentic Web3 community and really get the best out of it with digital fashion and digital accessories. And Amber will elaborate it even more because she is like so inspiring to me. She's an amazing founder that we have right here. So I'm really, really excited to launch that, and also excited for all the opportunities for artists and fashion designers in the Web3 space and for women. So I would say just like try to jump in and test new things because you never know where it could take you. I mean, for me, it was really insane. I wouldn't even imagine, I think, last year speaking on the stage about technology and fashion and art. So yeah, go ahead, Amber. I think this is a good.
Yeah, wow, preach. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Yes, woman, you go. Yeah, hearing your stories is all really inspiring. Really, I'm just like listening here. Yeah, I started my journey as a regular fashion designer. I went to fashion school, did all of the things the traditional way. And at some point I realized, what is this industry doing? We are creating clothes that are just ending up on a pile that is getting bigger and bigger. We're treating people like shit. We're having these awful things. And I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to be a part of that future. And there was all kinds of doors closing in front of my eyes. Like, you cannot be a part of this if you don't work the way that we do. But I thought, the way forward could be by creating digital clothing instead of physical ones, so we can share that and wear that as our digital identities. Maybe some of you know how important your digital identity is. If you have a profile picture, this can say a lot about you. So the digital identity will become more important every time and every year, as we've seen that. But when we started the Fabricant back in 2018, what we got met with was laughing in our face. Like, are you serious? Like, this is never going to happen. But it is. And I think it shows that we, as me as a woman, I never thought I could have a voice that would be heard. But the voice is actually heard by creating these new technologies. And I really believe that what we do at the Fabricant enables others to voice that as well. So it's not just us speaking, but it's enabling young designers and young creators to also have a voice and express themselves through the platforms that we are creating and through the medium that we are creating. And how many women creative directors do you have actually in fashion? Not so many, huh? It's a reality. So I really believe that this technology can enable anybody to create their brand. Same for non-binary folk. Like, also, we don't see many of those creative directors. So I think it's extremely important that we keep on creating the tools for people to express themselves the way they want to, and that we create the space for people to really create their own vision, and that those visions can be heard.
Very nice. Yeah. And I think along the side of that, you guys both talked a little bit about advice you have for people entering the space, women who are in the space. I think that's incredible. And so I'm going to ask you two as well. What sort of advice or what helped you get into the space? And what advice would you give to somebody who's really eager to either work at one of these really cool companies or be involved in another way outside of being a holder, for example?
I would say for me, it was like I wanted to take my own career to another level. And once I started to understand how Web3 works, how communities are built, I understood this is where I need to be right now. Even if I'm taking a step back from creating more products, but being part of all of these communities have just increased so much of my knowledge, so much of how people think about the space. How can we actually help other designers and artists that are getting out there? So I thought that was for me part of my mission, and I'm super, super blessed, that to be part of all of these communities, to have been able to meet Talia in a conference like this, tell her I'm a holder, and then months later I'm working in the project, which has been just enormous amount of just experience that you're gathering to just seeing how that actually works. And I think all of the projects right here have been really blessed to be able to have the resources to help other designers, co-create, onboard them, and help them. And I think that Web3 has, we're talking about art and fashion, but Web3 has so many topics that if there's a topic that really relates to you, there's either because it's your business or something that you want to move to, pivot your career, like I did from finance to fashion, just find that, and you'll find a community that will embrace you, that will want to work with you. You'll find the networking is just amazing. Obviously, this conference, you'll see it. So I think that's one of my advice is just find that topic that really relates to you, speaks to you, and you'll find a community in Web3 for that, for sure. And Amber was touching a subject about digital identities, and I feel that that's something that obviously we now are starting to understand how important that's going to be in the future. But it's also a way of experimenting and expressing, and maybe in the real world you're not as outspoken or you're not as loud, even with your fashion. But it's also like a digital identities is another way of that you can express yourself in a way that you don't dare in real life. But you can just maybe try cool things on your earrings, on your accessories, and just kind of play with that other part of you that maybe is not that comfortable doing that in Web3. So digital identities are going to be really, really important for all of us in the future. So I think it's something that is so great that you work on. Oh.
Yeah, and I think it's amazing the way your brands kind of create opportunities for people to adopt digital identities and express themselves in any capacity, whatever resonates with them. Women in Web3 are just so awesome. So I had started to onboard myself to onboard creators months before I attended NFT NYC. But I would say the turning point for me was attending NFT NYC in 2021. And when I went to that conference, I felt like I was often the only female in the room everywhere I went. So I think I said that before, but it really made an impact on me. And it made me feel very fired up to get into the space specifically focused on women. And I don't know if it's not obvious from these amazing speakers here, but women in Web3 are fucking awesome. Woo. And also, something that is so special about the space and women in the space is that we have worked so hard to uplift one another. And it's just incredible how we've been so supportive to one another individually and also communities. And I think the fact that we were able to have such a large partnership between 4 different organizations, the Fabricant, Eyes of Fashion, World of Women, and an NFT marketplace, MakersPlace, I think it just shows the power of women in Web3, that, you know, we're just willing to collaborate, willing to support one another and elevate one another so we can push boundaries, so we can do more than just, you know, it's all about uplifting one another in the space. And I think that as we continue to do that, we'll also continue to educate. And I also think that with what World of Women is doing, specifically with your role focused on education initiatives, I think is really awesome.
You touch on a good point, which is like how negotiations are done, collaborations and partnerships are done in Web3. They're so much faster and quicker and more efficient than they're done in Web2. In Web1 is endless meetings, endless conference calls, endless months of planning and kind of bureaucratic. So I feel that it's so good to make connections and collaborations and partnerships, and they just get done so quickly and so efficiently. That is also another thing that is really good about this space, you know, to be able to do things like this.
Yeah, I mean, in fashion, I got taught in fashion school to never show your work to any of your classmates because they're going to steal it. And it was really this competition of like elbowing our way to the top. There's enough for everyone, you know, and I think, you know, that's what we really show here is like we can create things together rather than trying to fight our way to be the best or the first or whatever. No, let's work together on creating something that has meaning and substance instead of doing something the first.
And I have to say, this is one of the quickest turnaround times that we've achieved an accelerator program for MakersPlace. We kind of put out the call for artists a week before the submission deadline closed. So it was super fast, but we ended up getting close to 200 applicants to the accelerator program. And that would not have been possible to amplify the message if it wasn't for the support of these incredible projects. Organizations, right? Because we're Web3 organizations now. It's not just projects anymore. These are communities that are growing into incredible businesses.
100%. And a whole lot of WhatsApp grouping, too.
Yep.
Yes, the time zones in Web3 are just so much fun. I mean, at
That's a
one
separate
point,
panel.
we had a WhatsApp group where it's like someone's in Indonesia, someone's in New York City, someone's in London, Edda's in Paris. Talia's in Tel Aviv, Amsterdam. So, I mean, we were just kind of doing work around the clock, literally, and sort of picking up where the other one left off, like a tag team.
Yeah, 100%. Is there anything else that we want to add? And then I really want to see if anyone has any questions out there, in particular the women. Oh, sorry. I was going to call out the women, but just kidding. No, we can ask some questions.
We'll include you.
Yeah. Okay, do you guys
Anybody.
have anything else? And then we will get to some questions.
I just want to say that every woman here on the stage is so amazing, and
So
I
are
really
you.
am honored to be with you guys on the stage. Really, these companies that all are here, they're leading companies in the Web3 space, and it's just amazing to see that all of them are led by women, and this is already, I think, the start of a change, because I think it's about taking, you know, just jumping in the water, like I said before. And the more women that start Web3 companies, like we're still so early, even though, you know, it sounds like the bear market is here and everything is, you know, over, but it's not. Like I just see all of you here. It's amazing. Like I'm so excited because I think just the people in the space now that are coming in are the kind of people we want, which, you know, have a vision, which is one of our core values as well, and eyes, you know. But just a vision and see it as a marathon, not as like this race that, you know, it's a one thing and like and it's going. Like no, I think every brand here is thinking about the next 10, 20 years. So I'm really excited for all of you guys. And yeah, that's it.
That's amazing. I love that. One little thing to add, I would say a lot of times we think, you know, I have the feeling that, of course, we have different qualities. As men and women, we have different qualities. I think what's happening a lot is that we are trying, as women, we're trying to be like men. But I think we should not be like men. I think we should be women. And with that, we have our own unique quality and identity. and we can bring so much more to that. So that's my last addition to it.
And what we did at the NFT Factory was so awesome. I don't know if I explained this well enough, but we had 52 screens, and we co-curated the exhibition. So MakersPlace, through our accelerator program, curated 13 of the screens in the space, and Eyes of Fashion, Fabricant, and also World of Women contributed 13 screens. So we split it equally amongst the partners for the exhibition. And we have these QR codes up here if you're interested in seeing the Women and Non-Binary and Web3 Accelerator. 50 of our winners, you can scan the QR code up above and check out that Accelerator exhibition online. And you can also check out, obviously, the Fabricant, Eyes of Fashion, and definitely follow World of Women. So I think, do we want to answer some questions?
Yes, last questions. Woo.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I had the opportunity to go to the NFT factory, and it was really beautiful. But I have a practical question regarding that. How was the demand for the artwork? Did you know the question?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm one of those people that's always joking that in Web3, I'm basically like making the Kool-Aid, drinking the Kool-Aid, serving the Kool-Aid to other people. Like, I collected at least one of the NFTs from the accelerator program from MakersPlace. I love crypto art, so yeah, I bought one. And actually, one of our artists who we onboarded immediately sold her piece within minutes. Someone just bought it. So we were very pleased. We were hoping actually to sell out the 13 that were being exhibited before we actually had the exhibition, but I think we'll get there eventually. But yeah, scan the QR code, check it out. There's so many artists that are part of that exhibition, and it's amazing.
There was a few people that were asking about, how do we buy this? Like we got a few visitors that had no idea about, Web3. I really want to learn more about this. How do we actually buy something? Do I really need a wallet? And most of us you really don't need a wallet. You just need your credit card to be able to, buy the art. In one case, I was asked about a specific piece of art because they're working with a bank in Switzerland, and they were very interested in just onboarding some of these artists to their projects. So I think it was really helpful to just bring more awareness and expose them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then one other note that I would add is some of the art was also part of Art Fest at World of Women. So World of Women has an Art Fest, which is yay, Art Fest. And so we onboard several different artists to also relay their art in terms of reflecting what the different worlds are at World of Women. Our holders get those pieces, and it was just released. Is it still February this month? And so our holders also are, holders of those arts in the gallery as well. So that is that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so also same for us. Some of them, well, ArtFest is amazing, by the way. I'm so excited about it. I was just talking to Shannon here about
Shannon.
it today.
Our CEO is being very cute, and she's in the corner over there. Not to call her out.
I love how you pointed her out.
She's an amazing supporter, see? We do all our meetings like this. Okay, go ahead.
Some of the art was already sold or dropped. So the main purpose of that exhibition, yes, some of the pieces are still for sale. Some of them are already sold, and were just to be displayed. We want to, get the word out there and, highlight the spotlight on the artists. It was I think it's just about showing it, and you never know who comes. And I think art is like sometimes a long-term journey also. You connect to a creator, you follow them, and you really connect to their story, and then you kind of think what is your dream piece and get it. And yeah, and then I think it was really great to show such a variety.
I was going to add that there was 2 artists that were part of the, what we called our launch pad from Eyes of Fashion. And these are artists that are traditional artists in the traditional Web2 space. So these are projects that are about to be presented in the Web3 a scenario. So we had two artists that their works were displayed, and we're gonna now like start the process to onboard and help them with the technology, like we call it empowered by us of fashion, so they can have their NFT out there, their own collection, and we're gonna be helping them get to that point. Like Karen, which I don't know if she's here, but yeah.
And also, I put out my new pieces for MakersPlace that were displayed in Miami. So that was really excited to have
Art
some
Basel.
one-on-ones out for sale.
I think we'll do one
How
more
does it work with
question
digital
with
fashion?
time.
I think that's interesting.
Oh,
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you
I
were
can
displaying digital fashion.
No. Any questions? One question. Over there. Oh, okay.
So hi, already thank you so much for your work. I've been following all of you for a while, so I really
thank
think
you
that
so
it
much.
deserves an applause from everyone. Yeah, honestly. I just wanted to pick your brains a bit because I think it's beautiful that we uplift each other and that we really try to, empower everyone, educate women and non-binary people to enter the space. How do you see it? Like, how do you tackle the other half of the story, which is men? How do you see like the collaboration with them to really, to not exist in a bubble and in isolation, but really come to the table and work together?
Yes, yes, yes. I'm such a big fan of this. It's really important that we don't demonize each other. It doesn't help. We need to work together. Really, we are here with each other. We are not enemies. Anybody that says, yeah, women empowerment, everything, I get it. But we have to work together because otherwise we're never going to get there. And as women, we have beautiful qualities. And as men, you also have beautiful qualities. So let's add on to each other and not try to take each other's place because this doesn't work at all. We've been seeing that for the past years. I think it's really good if we actually start playing into each other and seeing how we can work together in the best possible way.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I would say, it's for us, it's built into our programming. So our first 3 instructors for Let's Cement actually were men who have acted as moderators in our, discords and all of that. So they're an important part of the conversation. We all play a role, no matter what. And it was interesting because a few of our participants who first, got on some of the educational courses, they're like, I'm here because my brother, my spouse, my somebody told me about it, or I saw so-and-so learning about it and I wanted to learn too. We had about 3 women who were just like, I want to learn from, other women. I want to understand this space. I've heard so-and-so talking about it, but I don't quite understand it. So I think it's important even, as men, there are quite a few of you in the audience. I see some right here. But at the end of the day, it's like, you also have a role to play in how you bring on others. So if you can educate it in a way that, you can onboard somebody, you can show them what you're doing, you can, help somebody understand, certain things. And this likewise, right? On the other end, like women can also be the teachers, women are the teachers. So how do we work together to create the programs to onboard each other and to make sure that that's included in the programming? We also have men and younger boys who have taken our programs. So just being mindful that we all have a role to play, whether it's in our personal lives, how we onboard our friends and family, or whether it's, being the educators or being the supportive partners or friends in the space as well to onboard more people as well.
And to your point, it is easy to get kind of trapped in this echo chamber. If you enter into the space, you get super excited. Women in Web3, you collect all the female-led projects, and then what, right? Like, where do you go from there? So that actually happened to me, and I tasked myself with stepping outside of my comfort zone, and I tried to join Twitter spaces that were kind of crypto bro energy and just see if I could eventually like rise to become a speaker and also have power in that Twitter space. And along that journey, I wound up becoming very involved in other kinds of projects that I'm super passionate about, like Pixel Vault. I'm very active in there and their UpDAO. So I think that putting yourself out of your comfort zone and constantly challenging yourself to see what else is out there is super important, especially when everything's moving so fast.
Yeah. And you'll see that there's many projects that are, mostly founded by men or it's more of a male community that really support us. And I think, for example, I reached out to Coffee with Captain with the Twitter spaces. It's just like, could you help us to get the word out that we're doing this? And they're like, of course. So I think it's very welcoming to feel that also the male communities really want to help us get the word out, not making us feel uncomfortable, just like creating that safe place, like come onto stage, like we want to hear your voice too.
And I want to note also, World of Women has 3 male co-founders who are incredible, huge supporters. And so also just making sure that, the people in these rooms as well, they account for men, they account for women, they account for non-binary folks. There's a lot of people behind these PFPs, and just making sure of that as well. I think we're going to get kicked off. But if you guys have questions, say hello. I hope you have... Yeah, I hope you guys have a really amazing NFT Paris. Go.
Yeah, and visit us in Booth X. You can come say hi to MakersPlace, and I'll hopefully lure some of these wonderful women to that area as well if you want to come chat with us.
There's a couch.
Thank you.